Can we get comfortable inside your living room?
Can we keep it simple?
Can we be leaders?
Can we reevaluate this thing?
Can we embrace real change?
Can we educate the mind?
Can we capture the moment?
Can we remove stereotypes? Can we really do this?
Can we talk?
We're back. Welcome back, everybody. We're just laughing before we even started. My name is Jarice Dean. I'm your host today. We're missing part of the hosting team, Nafi Shakir. He is getting his ACL better, so definitely we'll see him next week. First, we're going to get into our panel. I know everyone is a regular face, but we'll start off to my left.
What's up? I'm Craig.
Hi everybody, Danielle Dillon back again.
Hey, Jeff Craig, good to be here. Glad to be here.
Hey everybody, Courtney Dean.
And me, Steve Taylor.
All right, so ladies and gents, let's get right into the show. We have a lot to go over, but first we're going to do our normal rapid fire. Now, we're going to get into one thing that Danny G brought up, the Northwestern football players. Now, if you guys, the rest of the crew, if you haven't heard, what happened was Northwestern University football players got approval to form a union. So basically, they're actually going to be able to get paid for playing. Now, this isn't all the NCAA, but how do you guys feel about Northwestern University getting their football players paid?
The football players are actually paid?
They're going to be getting paid. They actually are able to form a union now.
I don't know if that's necessarily fair. I do believe that because, I guess, like college athletes, or if you join any college organization, you bring money into the college, therefore the college makes money off of you. But if you're going to pay football players, I feel like you need to pay basketball players. I feel like you need to pay musicians and other areas. I did hear something about them trying to get some kind of not financial aid, but
Compensation, you mean?
like
Compensation,
medical stuff.
Oh, okay.
Some kind of
Benefits.
benefit. Yeah, and I think that'd be great. That makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think this will open up a can of worms though for
Exactly.
every other sports team because if you think about it, the university does make a whole bunch of money off of them, and they're not even allowed to accept endorsements. These
Right.
people are working hours, like on top of hours, working out, going to sports team games, and missing classes or whatever, what have you. And they're not making any money. A lot of them could have came from inner city or like, you know what I mean? They could have been the breadwinners at their homes before they had to go to college. And now their time is being consumed by something else. This is giving them an opportunity to get paid while doing what they've been doing for so many hours.
I just think there needs to be some kind of balance. Like if a lot of the popular players may get a scholarship because they got scouted from high school. But there are players that actually try out during the school year that don't get a scholarship. So I feel like if this union was in place, the students that are getting a full ride to school, I don't think they should be able to get paid because your form of your schooling is already being paid for.
Exactly.
But if you're on the team and your schooling is not being paid for and you're putting in the same amount of time as all the other players, then I think those players should be allowed to get paid because that could help towards their tuition or anything else that they need.
But you gotta think about it though, your hours, no, exactly. I feel like scholarship or no scholarship, they're still clocking hours for this university, this company in essence, and they're not getting compensated for it. So they're broke. Yeah, they're tuition.
They might but they might not necessarily be broke because I know when we were in school, there were plenty of players that didn't live on housing but got a refund check from their scholarship and lived in an apartment. So that's another $5 to $6. But there is a part of it.
In my opinion, if you're not getting paid through scholarship, which is to me that's a form of payment. But if you're not doing that, now you're doing an extracurricular activity. So why should you get any extra kind of money because no other student is going to get paid for extracurricular activity.
I don't get extra money for
Well,
being on the Black Student
but
Union.
listen,
But
but
that's a whole
being clocked
argument
in.
too. Student Government Association
but think
would.
about this. Did everybody see Fab Five?
I have. I know exactly what
The
you're talking about.
documentary, and long story short,
Yeah.
Michigan basketball team, Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard. It was basically 5 freshmen that came into the University of Michigan and changed everything. Exactly how episode 1 we were talking about AI with changing the generation.
Yeah.
That's what they did when they brought in longer shorts, and they brought in the whole
Everything,
the whole
the Nikes, all
culture.
that
Exactly,
stuff.
it was just a culture change.
Yeah.
Now they brought Michigan so much money, but they were just broke, and that was a huge issue. Like I said, watch the documentary with Chris Webber getting paid, by a booster because he had no money, but yet he was generating money for Michigan off of jersey sales.
And you got to think about it, there's kids who lose their scholarship who accepting endorsements just because they need the money, and
Right.
that's illegal. The university making all this money off of you, and you can't see a cent of it. That's not fair.
I think you should be able to accept things like endorsements. Endorsements almost like if I were in school when I was I almost want to say if I was a model and I had some kind of contract or whatever you call it in modeling for an agency, just because I'm in school, I shouldn't not be allowed to accept that.
Wait.
So why don't you just take it as a
But it's not fair that just because you're an athlete you can't accept endorsements. That's not. So what? That has nothing to
There are
do.
privileges that come to being part of a team or an association. So why not just live off of what you can get? It's time and
Not
effort.
everybody's gonna get something though.
But you know what else too? I remember
Unless-
on the
that's
last
fine.
episode that we said, somebody said something about the basketball, college versus pro basketball, and how college people were fighting because they were working towards something and this and the third. And somebody also said there's not a set team anymore because everybody's coming in after their first and second year.
One and done.
This could
Yeah.
open up an opportunity for people to actually stay and get their degree
True.
because they're doing
Exactly.
Because they
They're
don't
not
have
sitting
point.
there trying
To
to
the
work
NBA.
Right.
with pros because they're having some type of compensation.
True.
So,
All right, well, we can go into this one. I didn't even think this would turn into something as big as it did, but real quick, next topic, the Malaysian flight. Everybody knows. Now, different stories keep coming out real quick. We didn't get the whole crew's opinion on, do you really think it, as a matter of fact, real quick, let me just read the most recent update from CNN. They say that the Malaysian airline flight, the families of all of the passengers have been told that it went down in the southern Indian Ocean. Believe it?
I heard they were filming the next season of Lost.
Next.
I don't know. I just think it's completely unacceptable how something can like just disappear off the face of the earth, and there has to be some type of backstory to it. There has to be something else. I'm not gonna jump straight to conspiracy, but there has to be something else for something like that to happen. Like
Well,
everybody
they did
has
find
mines
records.
everywhere.
They did find records that they said goodnight on the plane, and then 12 minutes later, the plane's route was reprogrammed.
Yeah,
So
something
it
right.
was already premeditated.
Suspect.
Something, so.
Something right.
I am a huge optimist. Until I get concrete evidence that everything is, we can assume, not even assume, but the worst has happened. I'd like to believe that there is still some opportunity or some chance that someone or something may be found, just so there's some kind of, if not someone saved, but some kind of closure.
I mean, but do you think that that the plane was in a southern Indian Ocean? Like, do you think that?
Oh, that I have
it
no
wasn't-
idea. Clearly, it's
there
off
was no
it's off
sabotage?
track, and that's a problem in itself. Where it may be, I don't know if I believe whether it's in the Indian Ocean or not. No.
Court and Steve?
There have been so many ships that have disappeared off the face of the earth, but were found underwater. There is no evidence of, like, a plane that big crashing into the water is not going to withstand anything. So it's going to break into a million pieces. Where are the bodies? Where are seat cushions?
Where
Where
is
are floating
everything?
devices on an
They-
airplane?
They actually admitted about this plane, and I'm not sure the exact model of it, but it's only ever had 2 issues with this plane. The first one happened when it was like first rolled out, and it had takeoff issues and was immediately grounded and had no problem. It only got a few feet off the ground. The other issue that's ever been on record for this plane has been this flight.
And it's like every person in this world that has been on a plane, your flight attendants let you know that your seat cushion is a flotation device. I don't care how hard this plane crashed, those seats are still going to float if it's a flotation device. So we should see at least 300 to 400 cushions floating in the ocean somewhere, and all these radars and satellites can find is one piece of debris.
They can find a lot on a cell phone. You know what I mean? You can use your phone.
I ain't buying it.
Well, I just keep it real simple, right to the point. As you're saying, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. So they're hiding stuff from us so that you can't see anything, and they're giving you a story for you to buy into it. So we're missing facts, we're missing details. Something's fishy.
I'm just
Point
curious
blank.
as to why. Like,
No pun intended. It's
Eventually, it's fishy.
Literally.
Literally.
We need to fish it up.
All right, now how about this? The last one before we get out of the rapid fire. Now, a Danish zoo. Listen to this. Have you ever heard of a zoo killing their own animals?
Actually, that's a little bit more common than people think. There's a movie, it's out, it's called, well, it's not new, but it's called Blackfish, and it's about what happens behind closed doors at SeaWorld and stuff like that. So, I mean, stuff like that is more common than what people think, and actually not even just with animals and different things, but what happens to some of the zookeepers and stuff like that. It's a lot of, hush-hush stuff that's swept under the rug, so.
Now, this is the story from CNN, that it was called the Copenhagen Zoo. They killed 2 young lions because they weren't old enough to survive. So how do you guys feel about the lions would have got the babies? The cubs would have gotten eaten by the grown male.
So
And
they
the
can
female.
put them somewhere else?
That was what I'm asking you guys. That's what I'm saying. Now they killed the animals, and that's how they're trying to justify their actions.
No, it's not justified.
I was going to say, do you guys think that's justifiable or no?
No, it's not.
No.
It's the natural order, man. That's taught to us in The Lion King. You just let the babies be killed by the male. If it's
So you would just let them stay in?
I don't. Yeah,
Let
I let
nature
them.
take its
If they're
course.
gonna get
Okay.
eaten, they're gonna get eaten. There's no
Okay.
sense in taking it out, in making it human involvement.
So the thing that was gonna happen, like, my thing is, okay, if there are studies out there that show that if they would have raised them somewhere else and then introduced them into the wild later, that they would have been fine, then why didn't they just take them somewhere else until they were the appropriate age to be introduced to everybody else?
Yeah, I've never. That's why I had to bring it up because I've
That
never
doesn't make
heard of a
sense.
zoo killing their own animals.
That
But
makes no sense.
now we just had to go through the first one took longer than what we expected. But now we're going to go into our first topic. What we're going over was a holistic lifestyle versus would you say today's lifestyle with taking medicine and taking pills, prescription drugs. Basically, we were talking about which style or which lifestyle fits ourselves, and also just observing society. We see that a lot of people are going the prescription pill way, the prescription drugs. But there's also the holistic lifestyle that's definitely coming along. So we can start off with your choice, holistic versus prescription and medical. Steve?
Holistic, easily, hands down. Like, I guess we can talk about it because everybody's going to have different perspectives on everything, but think about the last time, any pharmaceutical really, truly helped people. You know what I mean? Like, it's more about control, it's more about power, it's more about making money and stuff. And instead of trying to come up with all these chemicals, all these new, pills and all this stuff, why don't we do some more in-depth study on, natural resources and really preventative maintenance. I feel like a lot of people, that's lost now, where people, they want to do whatever and then just get it fixed for it later. Like, me personally, if you're smoking and then you get cancer, you might as well just keep smoking, because what's the point of, smoking until you get sick, like you didn't know that was going to happen, and I'm going to stop and I'm just going to take these pills and it's going to get better. What are you smoking cigarettes for?
It's not a bad point.
I've heard in some instances doctors have said, now whether it was holistic doctors or not, or whatever you want to call them, but sometimes it's better that change in what your body's used to having. Sometimes it's actually more harmful to your body because it's such like a shock to your body.
Oh, to
I'm
completely just
yeah,
go
like
from
for instance,
one-
like you said, someone smoking.
Right.
Well, they might need to keep smoking because them not smoking can affect their bodies.
But once you,
I don't know if I
once you
necessarily
start
agree, but
doing
I've
it,
heard of
that's-
those kind of cases.
That's why I
before.
said preventative maintenance. That's why I said if you're born to start doing it, you might as well continue. So I'm not even totally disagreeing with what your point is, because if you started it, then you might as well continue with it. Don't say, oh, now I have cancer, I better stop smoking cigarettes. You knew that was a possibility.
But that's not everybody. Everybody who smokes cigarettes doesn't automatically get cancer, and everybody who stops smoking cigarettes won't get cancer eventually.
No, I'm just making an example of it. I'm not saying that people are. What I'm saying is, if hypothetically, if a person gets cancer from it, why would you stop smoking cigarettes knowing that that was a possibility? You might as well just keep on smoking them.
Right.
And probably smoking them is probably going to be cheaper than your medication anyway.
Well, that's just
Not nowadays with taxes and all that.
So then, how do you plan on getting rid of your cancer?
Get rid of cancer.
Do some research. People are lazy too. Let's be honest about that. People don't do the research. They just want to figure, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to go to the doctor. They're going to give me a checkup. I'm just going to listen to them and pay this money for it.
And that's what they're paid to do, because we don't need to do that. I mean, there's people are good at certain things. So a doctor, I would go to them, and I might go to someone that has a holistic understanding of background, because I'm definitely more for that. And say, hey, look, doc, these are my problems. What do I need to do? And I would hope that they would be able to give me, I guess, the quote unquote holistic way of doing things, so I can continue to get myself better in a more natural form. I don't look to take medicine and pills and stuff like that. I think I might have mentioned on this show before, I have a friend that told me before about how in order for something to hit the market as a medicine,
Pharmaceutical, yeah.
it has to have a side effect.
Right.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't need...
So what's the prerequisite? Helping people and making money. That's my point.
Yeah.
But there's medicine that has drastically changed. I mean, lifestyles and that holistic necessarily can't fix. I mean, people died crossing the country on the Oregon Trail, and then you had the invention of penicillin.
Yeah.
It's just been able to save so many lives. People that had common colds, people that had polio. There used to be tuberculosis, and in this country at least, it's not even a concern anymore. And then you have people with AIDS that, given enough money, can buy enough pills to survive and live a healthy life. With the Dallas Buyers Club, I mean, the lead character was able to provide some sort of remedy that was able to keep some people alive a lot longer than it was ever predicted.
So you don't believe that there's a natural remedy for just about any kind of illness? Because
I mean, there's things that can help,
Exactly.
but at one point there's going to be a medicine that's developed that can cure things that, drinking tea or, receiving acupuncture or any type of, Western medicine style has been adapted to.
But I think that's the issue, because like what Steve says, like with holistic lifestyles and natural resources and things like that, you're looking to that preventative measure as opposed to like once you get it, how will you cure it?
Exactly.
The
Being
food that
proactive.
you're putting in your body, like
Bingo.
all those things, they matter also.
Yeah, but
because
what do you
they
do
exist.
what if you do if you're a baby born to somebody with a disease and it's carried through the blood?
Well, see,
Do anything to prevent it?
to piggyback off what you
immediately-
just said, Craig, I like how you phrased it when you said a Western style, because I know that in some parts, I forget the countries, but in some parts of Asia, the way that their medical system works is the opposite of ours. You pay them to keep you from getting sick, and then once you get sick, you stop paying them until they have a remedy. So we need to go more that route.
That still doesn't solve your problem, though. I mean, if a child's born with a disease, the baby didn't do anything wrong. And
You're
now
right.
Their
immediately,
parent did.
Quick question now.
yeah, but immediately you can't just say, all right, well, we're going to give this baby some herbs and say, go ahead, chew on this. You're going to have to. I mean, there are blood transfusion performed immediately after a baby's birth, and then there are medicine that is pumped into the
Well, see, all right, well, think about this, though. Cancer, like, is a multi-trillion-dollar business right now. So do you think that they really want a cure for that in the multi-trillion-dollar business?
If anybody has a personal connection to cancer, yes.
I have one. My grandma, she's been dead since I was 7. I'll be 25 this year.
And you're telling me you'd rather make $1 billion than save your grandma?
No, what I'm saying is,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
they're a multi-trillion-dollar business. Do you really think they want a cure for that and end that?
Yes.
Because I think
There's
that they
no
don't.
way you hold out on a cure.
Like I said,
I
I just
think
think there's a
they
natural
are.
remedy for everything. But go ahead,
I think
Drees.
they are.
Yeah, no, we do have to get a. I was about to going on what you just said. I think that they do hold it out. I
Thank
think
you,
that they will.
Drees.
For a multi-trillion-dollar business and the way things, okay.
If you're gonna hold out on a cure, you better damn sure make sure you give some additional years to some people. You can't just hang on and say
They don't care about that. I don't think they care about that stuff.
HIV. Like, you could do that now.
Yeah, they're
Magic
giving it away to
Johnson's
the ones.
chilling right now. Keep that smile on his face.
He has a
Seriously.
cure.
Now,
has a
it's
cure.
right,
Trust
right? That's what they said. So we do have to get out of here. What we're going to do is we're going to go to a quick promo video, and then after that, you will see our 15 in the line guest, who is Ms. Leslie Tucker. She has a catering business, and actually, I got to interview her, and we ate some great food. So check us out, and we'll be back after our 15 in the line.